Hello and welcome back. I am Chantel. I am the creative behind Homestead Knits, and this is my little slice of the internet here on YouTube. I have a few things to share with everybody today. I have some stash acquisitions, I have some finished objects, and talking about a little bit of future knitting, some of the projects I'm working on. If you could, before we begin, please go ahead and subscribe because I am trying to do this so that I can go live so that I don't have to edit. I mean, I'm not editing anyways, if I'm being entirely honest. But once I hit 1,000, it's just a lot easier to stream. So if you guys could please do that, that would be fantastic. Also, once you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours worth of watching time, you can actually get paid to put videos on YouTube, and who doesn't like free money? It doesn't cost you anything and it puts money in my pocket. So please go ahead and subscribe. Okay. So first off, let's go ahead and show you guys. I've got 2 finished objects here and I'm very proud of them. The first, and everyone and their dog has knit this, I know. And I showed this, I think last time. But this is my Sophie shawl. This one is knit out of Plucky Knitter. It is 2 skeins of their One Hit Wonders, which I love and I buy every single year, every time they come up on sale, because it's the best way to get nice yarn. So I paired a fingering and a mohair. You can see the little fuzzies. So nice. I have no idea if I got gauge. It's a shawl, and in my world, it doesn't matter if you get gauge for your shawls, so take that as you will. You can also see there's a few spots where like the I-cord isn't quite right, but again, if you've seen my other video on my shorts, there are no knitting police. So I just kept knitting because it's a shawl and it's just for me and nobody cares. Double stranding it made it, I think, maybe thicker, I think it's written for DK, possibly sport. But for our climate, I live in northern BC, and this is absolutely perfect. These One Hit Wonder skeins are ones that the dyer thinks are not quite perfect. Either they have some knots or some bare spots or maybe drips from other dye pots. And this one here, let's see if we can find it. There was a little bit of pink dropped on it, but I don't think you can actually, no one's gonna know. No one's gonna know. So I finished that up. I started this, I wanna say the 27th of December, because I needed some mindless knitting. This was a perfect pattern to have for family gatherings because you only have to do something every 6th row. I love it. It is so cozy, so soft. It is gonna be my perfect walking shawl. Okay. As you're gonna notice a color theme here with this and the next thing. Okay. I've also finished my turtle dove sweater. So this is a free pattern by Bastrico. Now I started this sweater, I want to say 3 years ago, maybe longer. And I had finished the collar and started on the raglan increases. And then we had sold our house. And as packing happens, it got packed up. And I've recently found it, and the grocery girls were hosting a raglan along, a knit along to finish up your raglans and start a new raglan. So I finished it. I used Cascade Eco Plus, which is their bulky. It's 100% wool. I was worried it was going to be scratchy, if I'm being honest. I wore this yesterday, and the only part that bothered me was right on the back of my neck. So I'm kind of brainstorming about how I can do this where I can knit myself 100% wool sweaters, but not get an itchy back. I'm curious if anyone has ever like sewn in a panel of actual fabric on the back, because the back of my neck's the only part that bothers me. I have it on bare skin. I have it on my, like this part doesn't bug me, but the back of my neck does. So I'm actually thinking I'm gonna get a piece of like bamboo jersey or something and just sew in right on the edge of the collar and probably down, I don't know, 2 inches on the back, just like a fabric panel. One, I think it's gonna help stabilize the neckline just so it doesn't stretch out at all. Not that I should have a problem being that it's 100% wool, but I think it'll just stop the itching, which will allow me to then continue to do this. This sweater called for shorter sleeves. I made my sleeves a bit longer. Anyone that knows me knows that my torso and my arms are longer than what the average duck has. My shirts are quite often short on the wrist or short in the waist, which luckily crops in vogue now. Love that for me. But I did lengthen the body a little bit. You'll notice I did a high-low hem and I split it. And that is just to accommodate for my high-waisted pants so it doesn't kind of bunch awkwardly with my high-waisted jeans. It looks so cute on. Highly, highly recommend. It's a free pattern. Make yourself a big cozy sweater. Okay, next finished objects. I made some baby hats. Now these are DK weight. They are double thick. They are reversible. And if you've been around the knitting community for a while, you may be saying, those are machine knit. Why, yes, they are. I just have a cheapie. I've got, I think 3 of these in different brands. This one is a 40 pin, which is what I use for my newborn hats. I am a nurse up at my local hospital, and all the nurses are the ones that make the baby hats. We do get donations of baby hats, which is lovely. But I feel like a lot of the people that knit to donate, I'm generalizing, maybe haven't had a baby in a while and are unsure of how big a baby head is. As somebody who works with laboring mamas and sees babies all the time, you need to think a baby's head on average from here, the widest part of their head is on average 35 to 36 centimeters. That's on average. And that's when they first come out, after they've had that big squeeze, and then their heads round out. So you can't make an itty bitty tiny hat unless you're specifically making them for like NICU babies or preemies. But the 40 pin works perfect because it's so stretchy. I can get it on my head. If they're smaller babies, you cuff it up. If they're bigger babies, you cuff it down. And this will go home with the parents and will fit their baby probably for the first year. I have been making these hats for years. I go to like Michael's. This particular yarn was like a giant ball for $3. So super economical, and it's my little good deed. So yeah, if you're knitting baby hats, just remember that we don't want them tight on their little heads. So it's okay if they're a little bit looser and we can cuff them. That's a good thing. So yeah, baby hats. I've got a whole nother ball of yarn to use to get some more done. I've been making them, like I said, for years for our hospital. So, and I know they fit because I'm the nurse that puts them on afterwards. Okay, let's just. So I wanted this year, my bobby pin is falling out. This year I wanted to try to pull down my stash, go through it, get rid of what wasn't serving me anymore, and try not to buy any yarn. For anyone that's looked at my shorts, you'll know that that didn't work out so well because I ended up buying 2 little balls of the Katia mohair to make a sweater. That said, that's all I've bought. It's like the middle of February-ish. It's not bad. I'm working through lots of stash. It's been great. But I did treat myself in December because I love buying yarn on like second sales, flash sales. I love nice yarn. I don't have a huge yarn budget, and that's okay because that's just where I'm at right now with my life. But that said, Nicole at Hue Loco has a big sale every year. And this year it actually fell on Christmas Day. So I had told my husband going into Christmas that I would really like to buy some yarn from Nicole. And so, although there was nothing under the tree, I did actually get to buy my yarn on Christmas. So it came, and I wanted to show it off to you guys because it's beautiful. Living in the Great White North here, my access to local yarn shops is really little. It's hard to get indie dyed yarn up here, so I was thrilled to be able to get my hands on this. I will say though, being Canadian, the exchange rate was like really awful. The yarn itself, price point wise, was super marked down, and I appreciate Nicole and am happy to pay for her work because she does beautiful, beautiful yarn. But after exchange and shipping and duties, what I'm about to show you cost me almost $200 Canadian. And I think that's important to put that out there, that this was definitely a splurge for me. And I don't take that lightly because everything's expensive right now. And it's important to understand that even though I want to support the indie dyers in my community, financially, I can't do that often. So this is a splurge, and because of that, I want to share. So I bought 2 packs from Nicole during her sale. I bought a 50s grab bag and a 50s set. Let's see. Oh, it says right here. Oh yeah, so I got one 50s grab bag in the merino sock, and I got one mystery 50s set in the Phyllis sock. So just 2 different bases. I, again, had never used Hue Loco before, so I was just kind of guessing what I wanted. So the first one I'll show is this one. So this is the Phyllis sock. This would be the mystery 50 set. And it was the Squad Goals colorway. Turn that around so you guys can get a better look at the colors. Sorry, I got an awful reflection, but lighting's hard in a basement suite. Probably a little pinker than what I normally wear. That said, I love like a blush pink. So I'm thinking I might use these ones in a shawl and try to find something close to this to add to it. I've used one skein already out of it. I'm not sure if it was out of this bag or the other bag that I'll show you. But I think it might have been this way because it had many of these colors, and it was called Bloom. Oh no, it would have been out of the other one because it had a ball band. Anyways, the Phyllis sock is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. There's 230 yards for a 50 gram ball. So there's a ton of yarn in here. Super beautiful. I'm super excited because I'm finally venturing into higher end yarn because I'm knitting more for myself now. I used to knit a lot for like craft fairs and stuff, which I loved, but I'm just really enjoying knitting for me right now. So the next ones. This is the 50s grab bag, and there was 6 skeins of merino sock in here. So that's what those colors look like. These ones are all named, so these are all colorways that she does, I believe. I think they're from a few different collections because I am currently using Bloom, which is like a blue color. This is Candied. This is Beatnik. Sorry, Sizzle, Overachiever, and Strike It Rich. That Strike It Rich color is really nice. I know it's Strike It Rich, so it's probably like some sort of reference to gold or something. It's giving me koi fish vibes though, which I love. So yes, those are my very, very expensive. As I said, these 2 bags ended up costing me $200 Canadian. It's just the reality of living up here, but I love them and am really happy I got to share them with you. I did want to keep talking a little bit about the yarn in that how I've managed to get so many skeins of yarn on these like deep sales. And everyone says sign up for their newsletter, sign up for their newsletter. And I was just finding I was overwhelmed with newsletters in my inbox. And so it was like, couldn't see the tree through the forest. So what I ended up doing is I actually created a separate email specifically for all my yarn emails. And this may or may not work for you, but I did that and I use that for all my marketing emails. So now I go in there when I have money that I am looking to spend, if I'm looking to treat myself, or if I'm just looking to stay like up to date on what's happening from the makers and creators in the yarn community. And that way I'm not sifting through marketing emails and work emails in the same email address. I know you can set up rules. I know you can set up folders. Don't come at me with that. For me, that's just what works. So I go into that email, I don't know, once or twice a week, scroll through. Do I miss things sometimes? Yes. Is it okay? Yes. Because it's nice to treat yourself every once in a while, but being Canadian, like you do have to be aware of the price difference. So yeah. After all that and telling you that I was hoping to not buy any yarn, I did just find out that the Edmonton Fiber Frolic, which is actually no longer the Edmonton Fiber Frolic, they've got a new name, Textile Arts Festival, maybe? I don't know. I didn't do any research, so don't come at me. Is actually happening the first week of May. And I was looking for an excuse to go to Edmonton. So I am now going to shuffle some things around and try to get a little yarn money bag going. I've been doing that a little bit by selling off some stash that I'm not using. I am definitely moving away from using acrylic. I don't like how it squeaks on my needles, so I'm getting rid of it. And I've been selling it at extremely discounted prices to people in town, which has been good because then that just goes back into the yarn piggy bank. But I'm really hoping to get VIP tickets for the Edmonton Fiber Frolic / Textile Fiber Arts Festival because I want to do a class. I love doing classes. I did one at Knit City. I went to the Grocery Girls Knit Along when I went. So fun. And I'm just really enjoying now moving away from being a maker who makes to sell turning into a maker who makes for herself. So yeah, that's my spiel for the day. A little rambly, a little fast, but I'm happy you guys got to come see these beauties. I'm happy I got to show off my beautiful sweater because a bulky sweater should not take you 3 years, but if it does, that's okay. Again, also look how beautiful that blocked out. Look at those stitches. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so that's it. Again, if you could please subscribe because I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can go live and also pad that piggy bank. And YouTube says I need 1,000 subscribers, so help a girl out. Thanks.